Okay, in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about imaginal acts. Okay, and what you could be doing wrong when you're visualizing. First of all, I'm going to say right off the bat, you don't have to do SATs. You don't have to get into theta state. You don't even have to necessarily believe in what you're seeing. And another myth is that your imaginal acts do not need to be extremely vivid. Now, there is some benefit in experiencing vividness in your imaginal acts, but people have this idea that it has to be like every single minute detail. You have to get the correct circumference of every zit on your specific person's head. No, nonsense. That's BS. When you are making out with your SP, you're not going to be looking at their zits. Matter of fact, if anything, you will look over a lot of their flaws, right? And you'll just be in the moment, right? Like when I manifested an SP, I don't know why this one's popping up in my head. We're going to call her Connie. Before we started flirting and before I started infatuating her, it was, I wouldn't say too far-fetched to believe that she would choose me, right? But it was more so for the circumstances, right? So either way, it seemed like a coin toss. Like, there's a good chance that I would never be able to bang this chick. And then when it finally happened, it was almost like I was to the pinnacle of arrogance where I didn't even get to really enjoy every single minute detail because I was just enjoying the arrogance of it. I wasn't paying attention to if the AC was on. I wouldn't be able to tell you if, I don't even remember what undershirt I had on, right? Before I took it off, right? But the point I'm trying to make is you're not going to remember every detail, so you don't have to make your imaginal acts very detailistic. If anything, I would just think if, for example, if you are manifesting a specific person, what is the main thing that you want to get out of that? A very simple example is if you're trying to manifest being chased, okay? And no, not by the police, by your specific person, guys. Most of the times people are going to say they want to get a text, right? Because they want to feel that validation. They want to feel like, oh, great, he wants me now. Oh, she's thinking of me. Now she's so obsessed, right? Well, are you going to fuck the phone screen? Are you going to marry the damn phone cover? No. What you want to do is you want to just get a general image popping up in your brain of the text message, but you're not going to be fucking the letters. You don't even have to be concerned about what the text message says, okay? Sometimes when I'm in traffic and I get a text message, I don't even read it all. I just kind of look at it from a distance and I know it's my boss saying, where the fuck are you, right? I could just see the and then I'm like, okay, yeah, they're bitching again, right? It's the same thing in the imaginal act. You're not going to fuck the words, guys. You're going to fuck your SP. You're going to marry your SP. You're going to have a happy ever after with your SP, right? So if anything, the vivid part of that imaginal act that I would focus on would be the anchor that I would do in that imaginal act would be the feeling of they're chasing me, right? Not so much the feel of the phone. Was it a 3 vibration or was it just, did I have my ringer on? Guys, when the fuck are you guys thinking about that? Like if your ex texts you, right, are you thinking of, ooh, I love my ringer on my phone? No, you're like, oh my gosh, they texted me, right? It's just the thoughts, the mindset. Because I'm going to tell you something, guys, and I've said this before in other videos, but when you are manifesting, when you are doing techniques, when you have a desire for someone, longing for someone, I hate to break it to you, but this is why so many people end up finding somebody else. Because they realize they could have gotten the same thing that they really wanted in essence from that specific person in another scenario. Because everything, every materialistic item, every goal, every accomplishment is just a state. You win the lottery, you know what it is? It's the same state that you feel when you no longer have to go to school anymore and you graduated. And now all you got to do is work a 9 to 5. And if you're excited to do that, well, you don't have to worry about going to bed early. It's the feeling that you get when you move out and you no longer have to worry about your parents telling you you have the music too loud, right? And the feeling of having that person is the same feeling that you get when you are being chased by someone who finds you really attractive, which doesn't necessarily have to be that specific person. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I am by no means saying in this video that you should give up. I'm just saying that in the meantime, while you're manifesting them, you can give yourself that right now. No, not necessarily dating and hooking up with other people, but just making sure that you match that state, the essence of that state in your imaginal act. So again, don't focus so much on the vibration of the phone. Don't focus so much on, when we were kissing in the imaginal act, I didn't get the correct driplet of her saliva. Look, if you can get that, great. Okay? Right? But get the state. Because a lot of people say, well, but I can't feel anything in my imaginal act. Guys, the state of the wish fulfilled, the state of abundance, the state of lack is not something that you feel so much in your body. Yeah, there are bodily sensations that you get when you are in a good state or a bad state, right? But when we talk about states, they're not something in the physical realm. AKA, they're not something in the 3D realm. They are in the 4D, which is why they say that the 3D is the past. It's just the old echo. The 4D is the truth, okay? Because it's the spiritual. It's the things of the unseen, right? The state of the wish fulfilled is almost like a silent peace that you get when, okay, boom, there you go. I hit the nail on the head, right? Or when you get the idea, or when you are trying to fix something on the wall and it's like, something's off about it. And then you're like a little bit to the left. Oh, there you go. And just something clicks. Yeah, there's like a little relief, a sigh of relief that comes, right? There's a little bit of, okay, I can breathe a little bit better because the fucking portrait on my wall is not bothering me because it's not churning up my OCD. But the awareness behind what it is that is going to take for you to be at ease with the structure of that portrait, the awareness of, okay, I finally have it, the thing that shuts off the ego and it no longer is talking shit about you because you don't have SP, because now you have it, that is the state itself. Not the feeling so much so of, I have them. Which, by the way, you can still garner up those sensations, when you're doing imaginal acts. But a lot of people gaslight themselves into thinking that it has to be this amazing, emotional, bodily sensation that you get whenever you are doing these imaginal acts. But no, that's nonsense. Okay, as a hot Latina passes by in front of my window, look, Daddy's talking, okay? But you have to just focus on the state, okay? Now, I know this is going to be 100% contradicting to when I said about the taboo technique that manifests your SP, which is where I said that if you were horny, then the one detail I would want you to focus on is a body part. But remember, I prefaced and said if you're horny, right? And a lot of us, when we're manifesting a specific person, we are not seeing any movement results in the 3D. And we're like, what the fuck? Well, if you want a little success stories to prove that this shit works, well, one time I did this with as an experiment, okay? Not during a time that I was trying to manifest a SP. It was actually during a time that I was seeing someone. And I tried this with a specific person who I thought was attractive nonetheless, but I wasn't going to do anything with her. And And if you don't know what technique I'm talking about, it's basically where you pick a certain body part that you know, like of that person, and you imagine what would it be like if they were chasing you and they were practically begging you for you to touch them on that body part, right? Now, me, you know me, we get HR involved, so it was in the walk-in cooler, okay? And this girl, you know, Latina, she had some really nice milk jugs, you know, kind of like C cups that kind of look like B cups from afar, but when you look closer, like, oh shit, they're like, you know, those balloons, you know, like the ones that the street magicians use, right? And they're just chilling, you know, they're just hanging like some milk puppies. And I imagine in the imaginal act that I'm like trying to do my work, and she's like, hey, come to the walk-in with me. And then she fucking just puts my hand in there, right? And I didn't focus on, oh shit, were we right next to the chili con carne? Were we, you know, about to knock over the Hidden Valley Ranch? No, first of all, she was hiding my Valley Ranch downstairs, right? But second of all, I was just feeling the texture of her breast, okay? And I just looped that for 5 seconds, and the next day she started calling me Poppy out of nowhere. I swear to God. I can't fucking make this up. Now, to be fair, she speaks Spanish, but she was calling me Poppy, and I've known her for, okay, I started there at 2018. I've known her for what? I can't even do math, guys. Fucking 8 years. And she all of a sudden just starts calling me Poppy the day after I do one of my most powerful visual techniques. I mean, come on. Poppy, dude. And to be fair, she did say that I was handsome before, but I mean, she never was calling me Poppy, right? So, in other words, I knew that this fucking shit works. And why? Not because I was focused so much on, oh, did I get a feeling, right? I didn't even really get horny per se when I did this. What I noticed right away after I started doing that breast technique where she just slid my hand in her shirt is I noticed that whenever I would see her, I no longer felt tense. I no longer felt like I gave a shit. I almost felt like I owned her in a way. There was a confidence. There was an arrogance about that. And you see, that's what we coaches mean when we say that manifestation is instant. But it's just the other coaches are dumbasses and they don't fucking tell you. I'm telling you that no, that doesn't actually mean that the moment that you do this technique, they're going to knock on the fucking door. But all the fucking shit talk that you hear in here just goes away. It's like a loud storm, but then it's like Jesus when he's like, shh. You know what I mean? That here comes the fucking Latina again. Okay, look, sweetheart, we do autographs after 5. All right? So you want to just get into the state, okay? Now, hopefully that makes sense, but hopefully it didn't, because this gives you another reason to work with me. Okay, if you guys have any fucking questions, you know, you could email me. But guys, look, if you really want to invest in this and you really want to get to the bottom of this and how to get in the state, and you don't have to constantly keep asking questions in the comments, invest in your reality. Book a call with me. What the fuck are you waiting for? Or join the membership channel. We have exclusive access to videos that you will never see on the public side, and also access to the next 2 months of my videos. Okay? Stay tuned, fellas.